50 Famous Fairy Tales. Tale number 9. The Elves and the Shoemaker. There was once a shoemaker who worked hard and was honest, but still he could not earn enough to live on. At last, all he had in the world was gone except enough leather to make one pair of shoes. So that night he cut out the leather by candlelight and left it on his workbench, ready to make up the shoes the next morning. Then, leaving all his cares to heaven, he went peacefully to sleep. In the morning, when he went to his workbench, there stood the shoes already made. The good man didn't know what to say or think of this strange event. He picked up the shoes and put them down again. He scratched his head and blinked his eyes, but there stood the shoes. He was not dreaming. He looked at the workmanship. There was not one false stitch in the whole job, and all was neat and true. The same day a customer came in, and the shoes pleased him so much that he willingly paid a price higher than usual for them. With the money the shoemaker bought enough leather to make 2 more pairs of shoes. In the evening he cut out the leather and went to bed early so that he might get up and begin his work by sunrise. But when he got up at sunrise, the work was finished. Presently buyers came in who paid him handsomely for his shoes, and he bought leather enough for 4 more pairs. He cut out the 4 pairs of shoes at night, and as before found them finished in the morning. So it went on for some time. What was made ready in the evening was always done by daybreak, and the good shoemaker soon became thriving and prosperous in his business again. One evening, just before Christmas, as the shoemaker and his wife were sitting before the fire, chatting, he said to her, "I should like to sit up and watch tonight, so we may see who it is that comes and does my work for me." The wife liked the idea, so they left a light burning and hid themselves behind a curtain to see what would happen, without being seen themselves. At midnight, 2 little elves came in and sat themselves upon the shoemaker's bench. They had neither coats to their backs nor shoes to their feet, but were as naked as peeled onions. They took up the work that was cut out and began turning and stitching and rapping and tapping, at such a rate that the shoemaker watched in amazement. On they worked until the job was finished, and the shoes stood ready upon the table. Then the little elves bustled away as quickly and as silently as they had come. The next day the wife said to the shoemaker, "These little men have made us rich, and we ought to show our thanks. I am quite upset to see them running about with not a stitch on their backs to keep them warm. I'll tell you what, I will make each of them a shirt, a coat, a waistcoat, and a pair of pantaloons into the bargain. You make each of them a little pair of shoes." This thought pleased the good shoemaker very much, and he set to work. One evening, when all the things were ready, he laid the clothes on the work table. Then the shoemaker and his wife hid themselves in the door to watch what the little creatures would do. About midnight the elves came in and were going to sit down to their work as usual. When they saw the clothes lying there before them, they laughed and clapped their hands. They dressed themselves in the twinkling of an eye, and danced and capered and sprang about as merry as sunbeams. At last they danced out of the door, and the shoemaker saw them no more. But from that time forward, everything went well for him as long as he lived. The end.